Hello and welcome
Hi.
to Curse of the Icefields, where we last left our liberators.
Band of misfits.
Yeah.
Our
and heathens.
misbegotten band of chuckle fucks.
Yes.
You guys liberated all cursed, or well, the land that was cursed by many things. Liberating this
repossessed account.
land. You will have to choose what happens next to this world. Now, they are leaderless.
Well, first off, we're on the wrong map. We're still in the village.
Yeah. I realize that. That's on me.
Oh no, loading a map. That's my weakness.
You already loaded it, Dursun. You're currently on it.
Oh, okay.
Silly.
I'm good.
Alright, I decided to make you a new spell, and
Boy.
it's literally the same thing as Eldritch Blast in a way.
Here you go. Have it.
Oh, no.
It's literally just gonna work the same way.
The flavor of my spell is green. Oh no, there are a lot of people here now.
Oh.
Damn.
Who the fuck is Ricardo?
What do you mean, who
Damn
the
it.
hell is Ricardo? Shush. Ricardo is a man you met. You've met him a long time ago.
That might
How
have
long
been
ago
the
was a long
session
time
I
ago?
wasn't here for.
It might have
Because
been.
I don't fucking remember him at all.
I don't remember Ricardo.
You weren't in the party at that time.
No, they were.
Oh no.
I wanna
You
go
guys were
to
traveling.
the circus.
Oh wait. It might have been just before you met.
One
of the two.
Wait, Ricardo, was it the one that we saw in the desert?
Yes.
Was he the vampire that we met in the desert?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's before we met with our scientist friends.
Yeah, that was the session I wasn't here because the session before you guys arrived at the laboratory I had to miss due to last minute work scheduling issues.
Right.
So if you got, I don't know who that is. Because I've never seen them before.
Want to test this spell. Runia is getting targeted.
And the whole village against us.
Bullet.
Hey, I got that too.
Did it actually fire the? Did it fire off an ice beam?
Do it again. Do it again.
Yes.
Look, I have it too.
Is it 1d6 plus your? So that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Change it to what mine is. Instead.
Okay.
I'm guessing this is supposed to be a druid and witch cantrip.
Yes.
Wait, I already have Eldritch Blast though.
Yes, but this is a witch spell. Druid, witch, and ranger.
Oh.
Yeah, that's okay.
Then can I just change that spell
to
something else?
That's perfectly fine.
Alright.
If it's what level do you unlock that spell then as a ranger?
It's a cantrip.
I only have produce flames. I'll sort it a bit.
Or you can call that one Ice Shard. Nyana.
You know what?
It's-
This makes
it's
sense
fine.
for the water-reliant creature to have a cantrip called Water Bullet.
A bit weird for a Phoenixborn to have one called that.
I mean,
Just steaming water.
produce flame. It's pretty accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what is the max range of this cantrip?
90 feet.
Put that in there.
I'm just gonna take the blood bolt cantrip instead of water bullet.
Oh, somatic.
So, produce flame for me now is 60, anything within 60 feet. This one is 180.
Does spell sniper just happen, or is it like so many uses?
Spell sniper is a passive ability.
Shit.
Yeah, so other than the learning of a cantrip, what it really does is when you make a attack, when you use a spell that requires an attack roll, it doubles the range, and you also ignore half, and
Partial cover.
you ignore half cover and 3/4 cover.
Nice.
So the only way for them to hide is to use full cover. It's very funny.
Sounds it.
I love how the dead sharks are still here.
Still cutting them up.
Oh. Well,
Or they're new ones.
it'd be
Shark.
meat. That would be metal. Erikai made it here before you guys because you guys stopped at a village first.
Yeah.
And he went
Indeed.
to deal with the prisoner. You'll have to ask him what he did, if you want to know. Belliath is going to take their pets and hide in their bedroom. Well, it's just because they're not here right now. The rest of
Yeah.
you
He's going to work on Swumi's dress.
Ah, yes.
He still hasn't answered what that's supposed to look like, because I'm pretty sure that's something that's happening this session. Unless Nikki wanted to specifically run it as something separate.
I could do it more than likely next session.
We're supposed to be done with the time skip next session.
Mm-hmm.
Thing.
Well,
If this was happening before, which is why I was asking if it was being roped in with our
we
downtime, or if this was done as something separate,
I
because
think
that's
it'll
how
be
you were
roped.
doing it for others.
I think it'll be roped in with your downtime.
Okay.
I want to go to the circus. Let's go to that.
Oh no, they're still here.
Yeah.
Fireball!
Go away, you assholes! Nobody wants you here.
Those clowns actually creepy.
I don't trust the clouds.
You don't trust
Phil, come with me.
Oh god.
No, we have shit to do. We don't have time for the fucking clown town.
As soon as
Yeah,
this
it's
we,
episode
we have time. It's
My tree has
like
been
20
built, yeah.
minutes. Let's go. Let's take a look. I'm really
And-
curious.
10-minute adventure.
10-minute
in and out.
adventure. Meanwhile, cut to 2 hours later when we started combat with the fucking clowns, because it turns out they're assassins.
Clowns are all
Kill
fucking
us.
dead on the floor. We're just freaking.
No. if they are assassins, it's better to get rid of them
You
before
see,
they
the reason-
harm anybody, right?
I didn't trust this encounter to begin with when Nikki said it just appeared. I still don't. I have less reason to trust Nikki now that she's had time to think about it, and she's been playing Baldur's Gate 3.
I don't know who this sneaky person you're talking about, but I wanna go visit the clowns.
Damn you. Clown could use fireball.
What are you doing? We have important things to do.
Bring your hubby too. We can go to a double date.
We're not going. We're not going to the carnival. We have important things to deal with.
Please, for 10 minutes.
No,
Please.
What the fuck?
no.
Please. Puppy eyes.
No.
Come on. It's gonna be fun.
We have more important things to deal with.
It's like 10 minutes.
Waiting for the website to cooperate with my computer.
No problem.
In and out. Quick adventure. Quick fun.
That sounds like a night between
No.
you and Phil.
Come on. It's
They're great to have.
We
aren't
could
you
go-
curious why they are here?
No,
Not really.
definitely not.
Never trust a clown.
It should be fun. It lets us explore.
Do you not?
It's
Carnivals are filled with nothing but vagabonds and vagrants who wish to rob you of your money and pickpocket you while they distract you with funny
Oh, please.
illusions.
Actually, no. Let's go to the fucking carnival. Nikki's been playing Baldur's Gate.
What?
That's exactly what Soviet's
yeah.
just said. And that's why he doesn't want to go.
No, we are not going to the carnival. We have actual work to do.
You know, I had this carnival around well, actually, I've been playing Baldur's Gate for like 3 years. But
Nikki, I
that has
specifically
nothing
said.
to do with it.
I know. I specifically said I didn't trust it before, but you've had time to marinate on it, and you've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 in the background, which means you've probably gotten ideas.
Not so much.
look.
I've gotten
it's-
ideas,
it's like-
sure, but my ideas are from the world map. Very funny part of world map.
Can we go after we finish our important business, which I don't know what is?
Yes.
If we're not all dead.
Um,
Yes.
I'm
I would be
asking
joining.
this really.
They will say in a language intentionally chosen that you do not understand,
Which one?
Ogwin.
Yeah, so I understand.
All right, I'll cast comprehend languages.
That's not how it works.
I heard it right now. I understand it. Can I roll like a history
You
check?
understand the literal meaning. That does not mean you understand the language. The literal meaning is a feeling of disdain that could be interpreted many ways. I swear this group is going to give me a migraine problem. Why do I bother?
Going to. You don't mean you already don't have one?
I forgot you understand.
I do indeed.
One, Phil, get out of the carriage. Two,
I can't. The
Okay.
website's not loading for me. I literally
I
can't.
moved him out of the carriage.
Okay, let's go do our important business.
And then I'm just gonna. Why can I not move the beetle? Oh, because he's attached to the cart.
You gotta move the cart.
I'll just move this out of the way.
I'll
Oh,
hold
there
Phil's
it
hand
goes.
and allow him to lead me wherever we are going. I cast Beast Sense to go explore the carnival with Bert.
You realize you can only communicate with your familiar for a certain amount of feet, right?
It's beast sense spell. Clowns. So many clowns.
Funny
Fire eater.
clowns.
Sure, funny.
Meow.
All right. Oh, I guess technically Eric, I would be in here with you guys.
Let's go do important business. Yes.
Yeah, very important. Why are all the buildings missing
This isn't a
doors?
pool. This is a bathtub.
What missing?
I literally see no doors or anything on the map.
Oh,
No, me neither.
that's because there are no doors on it. There are walls, but no doors. I think it's because the doors and everything, or the walls and shit, got all fucked up when I changed the map. That's besides the point.
Oh my god. There's so many hot people in this room.
Oh my.
Silence polysexual.
Sorry, that's just me. Since I just give off heat.
Okay. Well, my friends, you have completed, well, a major part of your campaign. And one extra part of it is sort of a helping of these people one last time. Helping them decide leadership, as well as, well, a name. This city that you guys are this town that is soon to be a city at some point, when I get the time to update all the buildings again.
Oh no.
No, you're fine, Nyana. You technically still helped in the final battle. Phil joined halfway through.
Because
Ennaq
he's
left
an
for
opportunistic capitalist.
Ennaq left for quite some time and
Yeah,
joined
capitalism.
joined also recent. Right, back. So
Wait, how can I be an opportunist capitalist if I'm fucking poor?
Because you're shit at your job.
Yeah, I was about to say.
well, you're not poor, you're actually quite wealthy. Comparatively.
I am?
You have 50 platinum and like
Oh, yeah, that's right, I do.
You've got 50 platinum and 500 gold.
yeah. You're not poor by any standards. Well,
Yeah, I got like 400.
with that, you have liberated this land together. Leaders from different places in different parts of this world come here, mostly in asking of what is to come, laws and other things, rules that'll be in place. Victor has big concerns about his home and the promises you made to him.
What, the anti-magic zone city?
And some of these people are nobles who have an interest in, well, the politics. And some outside individuals with other concerns. But I'm glad you all can join us. There's not a lot of seating, as didn't think I would have so many people when I put the word out. But
We
you all
could have
welcome
honestly
to our
had-
discussion.
Sorry, I was gonna say we could have had this meeting either in the longhouse or over here because that was, well, Never mind. This is the universal translating area. Then no,
It
it's
is.
very
It is the
small.
universal translating area. Everyone can
I can't
understand
cast
everyone.
it again.
But
I don't know if it is appropriate for any of us to actually sit at the table.
oh, you can sit at the table. Erikai just leans against the wall.
Mm.
The two ladies sit. The men stand.
I'd say if any of us have the right to sit, I would say Swumi.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys for some reason self-elected me leader.
I mean, you have been the one that's acted more of a leader than the rest of us.
The mother
Yeah,
of the
plus you
group.
don't want me as the leader because I'll just end up like,
Oh no, we wouldn't let you be the leader.
Scares.
yeah.
Love you, bro.
There you go.
I love you too, BB.
A lot of things have changed since your arrival here in this camp. This camp now being quite the hamlet and village to a lot of citizens now who've lost their place. But without leadership anywhere, we are basically a nation with no head, easily taken over, and it needs to be fixed as soon as possible, no matter what. We can't let our land be taken by outside forces again. We need to be bolstered. I, myself, would not be able to lead. I'm fine with my position here at this camp. If I become their mayor, then so be it. But what do you think is our best course of action based on, well, all your outside knowledges of nations you've come across? What do you think is the best course of action here? Should we continue the elected officials like we once had? Elected king? Or should we do something different?
I'd
Hmm.
probably say go the more elected route. We allow the people to have their say, and hopefully it allow to keep the peace. But we make it so every person who is elected still has to communicate between the cities and the settlements to pass big laws or things like that.
You'd need a centralized council of representatives,
Yes.
preferably a reestablishment of the former monarch, of the former
God save the king.
Damn you.
the former monarch's family, but
I say we choose a monarchy and the council. Council made from elected people from the people elect the council, and there's a monarchy, and create a balance between them, a power balance.
Mm.
In case either of them got corrupted, the other one can intervene.
We could always-
Belliath's rule on the continent was a strong one until outside forces interfered. It wouldn't be that difficult to reestablish that system, but we'd need to have more representatives from the actual cities and settlements.
How many of the previous? This is me talking, not Ennaq. How many of the previous government is still fit for service and is still trustworthy? Do we know, or?
Rylus will raise his hand and go, I am the firstborn son of the former king, Dylus. My name is Rylius.
How original.
Can't help their father name.
That was an out of character
Rude.
comment.
So mean.
Nope, it wasn't.
Rylus.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. No. I am unsure if I'm fully fit, but I have led people from the Ire here in search of, well, the freedom from the Shardminds. I
So
tried
what-
to rebel, and I tried to push back.
Not
Right.
every coup is a successful one, but did the responsible thing and withdrew when you knew you couldn't win instead of trying to fight it out against the odds and lose.
What is your input? What do you? These are your lands. These aren't ours. We are foreigners to these parts.
I'm not. The fuck you talking about?
You know what I mean. Most of us.
These two are lol.
What do you want for your land?
I want what my father once wanted. What's best for the people. It's not like it was perfect the way it was, but it was.
Nothing ever is.
But that crystal war isn't going on anymore. Hopefully we won't have as much trouble as we once did.
The Scalic Dominion, the Oros dynasty's former influence has been dealt with now that Belora von Shadra and the Shardmind have been eliminated. The Crystal Imperial structure that remains on the continent has kept out of our affairs. The only outside influence that we are currently aware of would be the Demon Spire and the remnants of the cannibals that are being dealt with when they appear. It would be best to reestablish the familiar system that people are used to, but it needs to be modified so that it is not undermined again. Now, the band of treasure hunters that work for my sister have been following remnants of the old royal family, but I'm not sure if they've found anything about what happened to Dilius.
Is creating a new royal family an option?
Why
How
create
would
a new
we
when we
start
still
the
have?
process? How would we even start the process of choosing that?
I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas.
We already have a royal family that can take over if he wishes.
He has every right to take his father's place. He is the firstborn heir of the bloodline. And his actions with the City of Ire prove that he has the potential to be as competent as his father.
Ah,
Again,
firstborn heir.
he
Sounds
didn't.
creepy.
He didn't try to keep. He didn't try to keep the rebellion going when he knew it wouldn't work. He took those under his protection and withdrew.
Doing what I thought was best.
And you made the correct decision. Unlike some of the former kingdoms, you're not driven by pride or greed, you're driven by your instincts.
I guess you also could say pride of my people.
Not in the same way that other
Not pride
kingdoms.
of yourself.
I think whatever we do, it's going to be correct as long as we don't choose an incompetent leader and make them choose every other aspect, like other leaders.
The councilmen will be chosen by the citizens of their city.
Voting is going to be hard, though. I say we do it like this. Let every city choose a representative of their city, and then cities representatives are going to choose some people for the council. It's not like we can ask everybody who they want the councilman to be.
What we could have is we could have so many people put their name forward. They can say what they want to try and achieve, what they want the city to become, and then from that, they are the people that the citizens choose between.
Yeah, but still we have to ask every citizen, right? That's like bullshit. We can't do that.
We don't have to individually go around and ask them all. We can have town criers or something of that nature to spread the word that way.
We've had systems in place for voting and other things. We used to vote on laws and other things within cities. It wouldn't be completely city to city wide, depending on harshness of things. But we were able to communicate pretty well. Once the citizens are less shaken up by this whole ordeal, I'm sure they'll come to and probably feel better about their doing.
And
More
I'm assuming you'll have the means of having the same system of allowing people to vote and whatnot.
We have the ability to, now that the cities are free of the Shardminds.
I mean, if we just copy the old system, the same thing is going to happen again.
Not necessarily.
The old system didn't have representation of the individual cities.
I also would like to put a suggestion down.
By all means.
I would also like someone to represent the villages outside cities. The tribals.
I agree.
Or
Then
at least someone who can contact us outside cities and be able to communicate the cities.
we should decide on like the size of a community that deserves a representative. Let's say something like 200 people. If you're a 200 people village or tribe, you get a representative chosen from your tribe and talk to.
That
We should
is,
decide on that.
the tribals are not large enough to fit under that system. The entire point is that every settlement, regardless of where they are, needs to have representation.
I am fine with the druids representing us with them, as long as they communicate with other elders, such as myself.
The problem is, we're not supposed to tamper with political systems. Our purpose is to safeguard the natural order. That is why we were not. That was why the shrine didn't fall under the same problems as the cities.
Being
There was no.
could they still be messengers for us tribals? They don't have to be fully our voices and everything. It would be just easier for us to have something.
How about we create another office, like a new job, that is entirely working on dealing with the problems of tribals or tribes and stuff like that? And
Yes, but where would that building be? Where would that office be? That'll have to be a place where every tribe in that area can meet or get to.
yeah, that will be in the closest city.
That still can be
So-
quite a distance.
At that point, like, what can we do if they are living too far from the city to even communicate? Can the city or the government help them if anything happens to them?
I mean, don't forget, we can still use. There is still the means of magic to communicate. It doesn't have to be an in-person thing.
Yeah, then we like create an office at the city and give them like sending stones. So if something, for example, elder of the tribe has to request or say or report, they reach out to the city and report to the city. Then the city reports it to the higher ups or do something like that. We just add a middleman.
I'd be okay with something of a system like that. It would help us greatly, being in the know of what's going on around us. We do like our simple lives, after all.
There is also the problem of creating a united military on the continent. I doubt the tribals would appreciate garrisons being placed near their villages, but the simple matter is it would be an effective way to stop what happened before.
As long as there's
Well-
communication with elders of said tribe that you are posting near, I'm sure you could negotiate terms.
To be honest, your village specifically is in an advantageous spot, as you'd be covered by whatever garrison would be established here for the harbor.
Protection
Others, on the other hand.
is usually fine, as long as you're not disrupting the natural land that we feed ourselves off of.
How about we do it like this for military? For each tribe, we assign a group, and before assigning the group, we talk with the elder and figure out the rules. For example, like don't mess with the nature, or don't mess with the people, and we inform the group we are assigning beforehand, so when they go there, they don't get kicked out. That can be another job of the office we are creating between like the middlemen, and we should name it. Give it a name.
That you are suggesting a overcomplicated system that also wouldn't work given how some of the tribes function. Establishing contact with certain tribes, especially some of the Lyra, would be difficult, if not impossible.
Well,
Some of them are incredibly wary or outright hostile to those that are not part of their groups.
so at that point, if we can't even create communication, they are not a part of the state, thus they are.
That's unfair. Because they are
Why?
still part of these lands.
Yeah,
The
but they're not part of the state. Just leave them alone.
liras of the lands are in such out of the way places in such dangerous areas
It
that
would
they're
be easier
rarely
to coordinate them.
bothered.
It would be easier to designate the areas as protected zones and avoid them
I
than try
would-
to establish contact.
I would agree with those terms. They are hard to communicate with. Some of them even brutal.
Are they hostile to the state?
They are
Hostile
hostile
to
those that are not
outsiders.
part of the tribe.
Or
That's why we leave them a wide
sometimes
berth.
they might think you a tasty snack.
I clearly remember destruction of some of the tribes because they just didn't want to communicate. They just want to be left alone.
There
I don't
has-
want that to happen to them, so we should be careful.
That's why we put up a neutral a zone
Hence
around
the-
them where we avoid.
protection
Yeah.
zones allow them to keep their natural areas secure so they don't lose food or other things. And we
There's
try not
also-
to disturb them too much.
That sounds like a cage.
We are not restricting them
We're
to that
not-
place.
We're not going to be putting
It's-
up walls.
We're not-
Just rules for others to avoid areas like that.
It
Yeah,
is more
but what if they move? They're tribal. They can always move to different places.
Lyra tribals do not leave their
They are
brood.
extremely
They're
territorial.
very socialite to their own kind and tend to
All right, what if-
conglomerate in single places. Only leaving
What if they extend?
they only leave if their land is destroyed or if outside forces force them out, like the dragons.
Yeah, but it's gonna be hard to keep track of that. If they expand, we have to expand the protection zone too, and we just have to keep track of that. But since we don't have any communication with them, we don't know when they extend.
There is still means of finding information about it. It just we might need an intel core, if you will.
Yeah,
Someone to
but-
go scope out areas, but do it quietly and try not to provoke.
We can just
Or at
use
least-
divination magic, but that's also a resource that we have to spend.
That's why I'm thinking a separate thing entirely for reconnaissance, if you will.
What if we just force them to communicate with us?
That's
We are-
That-
yeah.
we are
no.
the state.
That is-
We are the
that is
state. We have the
distasteful.
military power. We can easily
don't-
force them.
We don't
For their
want to
good.
force anyone. This is their land too.
Yeah, but we are not forcing them out or like anything. We just want them to communicate with us. We just
But
give them a sending stone and be like, talk to us.
But that could lead to further complications or even violence.
The unfortunate thing is that has been done before. It didn't end up well. Hell, even the Shardminds tried. we didn't give them a single.
What I'd recommend is we figure out where they are, the size of their home, and then from there we then figure out how far they leave to hunt, scavenge, what have you, and then go from there. We leave that radius to them with a little bit extra just to be on the safe side. If they expand, we try and expand the area as well to some extent.
You know what I can see? I can easily imagine some random person thinking they're in the safe spot and getting murdered from these tribals because they decided to extend their territory. This is going to
You're
cause more
talking-
troubles.
You are talking a situation that is more than unlikely to happen. Most of these tribes do not grow in population because they isolate themselves.
I was just about to ask that. When was the last time? I'm not from here. When was the last time that any of these groups expanded at all? Is it fairly rare, common?
They only leave when they are thrown out or pushed out by natural forces or outside forces such as dragons or
Right, but
other beasts of these lands.
the settlements don't just
The-
start expanding.
The
We have to keep
Arachne
track of.
and Chrysier, or Chrysier subtype, or well, subrace versions. Beetles, and they're basically beetles and dragonflies that roam these lands as tribals. The Chrysier are the ones that mostly move and migrate due to the dragons in the areas, but, well, the dragons are far and few between after what had happened to this land. But I saw a boom of population of the dragons after the land was restored again. It's like they were
So
hiding.
we have to keep track
As
of
of
dragons as well.
recently, no, there has not been any movements of the Lyra tribals. They've been untouched and unbothered by forces for quite some time. That doesn't mean that they were not affected by what has happened. The
Some
dragons coming
established-
back bodes minor consequences for them, but they've been untouched by them for so long that they may be
The
able to hold
dragon-
their own rather than run away.
The dragon population will be kept in check by the shrine as it always has. We have a history of culling the population down when it gets out of control.
Dragons are sentient too. That sounds a little cruel.
They may be sentient, but they are still beasts of nature, and an unchecked population leads to drastically more problems.
Unfortunately, not all dragons are good-minded or caring of mortals like yourself and myself.
I could say the same thing for humans. They are not
Yes.
all good-natured, and they are destructive.
The black.
Why don't we keep them in population check?
I mean, in some places that is done.
The few chromatic dragons we have here in the Icefields, such as the black dragons and such, are very violent and will attack anything and anyone they deem satiate their greed. I heard rumors of attacks of caravans recently, and villagers.
Yeah, they
being
probably got in their
attacked.
territory.
Dragons don't have territory. They
They just go
establish
where they
dens and they raid.
Well, they do have their own hordes and nests.
But
I'll call
Yes,
You seem to be very disconnected for how things of this nature work.
To be fair, they
They
were
might
in a test. They were in
I was
a
like
for
in a
while.
capsule for like 50 years. Like if
She may as well just
things
been a test
change-
tube, baby.
Yeah, I was in a capsule for 50 years. My knowledge is a little old.
The problem with dragons, they might be able to think unlike most beasts, but that does not make them any less beasts. They have to be kept in check, because if there are too many dragons forming a population, then it goes from the occasional destroyed caravan or missing merchant to entire cities collapsing because of because dragons will attack in order to find riches or more items for them to hoard.
Isn't that their nature? And anyways, forget about dragons. I just don't see how, if we can give these tribes a sending stone and they say, "Oh, we are moving to the west," that cannot be that hard or have hard consequences on us.
The problem is the tribals you are speaking of do not move. They stay in the same territory. The only reason they would have to leave is if someone is forcing them out. That is why we establish the protective zones around their territories. They do
Yeah,
not
I get it.
expand. We're not even sure how many of these tribes still exist. Some of them might have been eradicated by the curse.
Not
Also,
very many.
even if... Sorry, proceed.
That's all.
The thing is, some of them don't want contact at all. As soon as they see you, they could start firing at you or anything. So how are you proposing we give them a sending stone if they just go aggressive?
Force
Just
them.
throw it at them and run?
No, overpower them.
But then that
is not
can just
leaving
lead to them attacking us or some
what
of our
you're
villages.
talking about is not incorporating them into the government. Is not incorporating them with what we're trying to establish. What you're talking about is eradicating those who will not conform.
I'm not saying kill them. If you show up with an army, they are tribals. How
Then
many
they
of
will
them can there be?
attack, and you will have to kill them.
They will defend their land to the
You
last.
don't have to kill them.
But how
if they are not stupid. They are not gonna attack 2,000 people with 50 people.
You've not met some of the tribes, not even just from this land. If their land is getting threatened, it doesn't matter by how much of a greater power, they will fight to the last to protect it.
Yeah, I'm not saying first option go with an army. Send someone, like even an image is fine. You don't have to send something physical. Then, if they attack the image, then send an army.
It's sending the wrong message.
What you are proposing is not cooperation, it is eradication. It will cost the unnecessary lives of all involved. These tribals do not want integration. They want to remain isolated. They are not going to see what you are suggesting as a welcoming gesture. They will most likely interpret it the same way they interpreted outsiders raiding their villages before. And they will fight until there is nothing left of them. They don't want our help. They do not want our cooperation. They want to be left alone.
Then we have to redraw the maps and consider that those areas that tribals live are not a part of the state. They are not
That
our
is
lands
not-
if we cannot control them.
I would just recommend, like we said before, we make a safe zone around the camp that no one should enter. If we say it's not part of this land and they even creep over, then
Yeah,
that can be classed as an invasion and we can attack. We don't want that. At least I don't.
let's build a wall between. Make sure we don't even get any interaction between them.
But that's
We can
that's
make it. We can easily make it with magic.
but
we can
building a
easily
wall
create a
is
wall.
caging them in. What happens to all the
They want to cage
animals?
them. They want
No,
to stay
they don't.
isolated. Let's
They want
let's
to stay
isolate them.
isolated, not get caged. If we put a wall around each one of their settlements, food will eventually get scarce.
Look, it's just communicating shouldn't be that hard with them, and I feel like we can do it if we just try.
Have you ever come across a tribe, an isolated tribe, in your travels?
I came across a couple of goblin tribes.
And how did they react?
I made one of my best friends with them.
And how did you do that?
We talked.
Did they start off aggressive?
Yeah.
Right. So you got lucky. Goblins aren't normally friendly, at least the ones I've come across.
I
Not
know.
all tribes work the same. If we leave them be, more than likely they leave us be. If we don't intrude on them, everyone stays alive.
The problem is, it's going to happen at one point, and when that happens, innocent people will die.
Regardless of how we do this, even if we build a wall, they'll try and make a way around it, and what will happen will happen. We can protect as best we can.
Do we know what language they speak?
What language the Lyra speak? They have their own language. They have this insectoid language that uses their antennae and sounds. Now, some humanoids have been
Back in a
able
minute.
to pseudo communicate using hand signs and mimicry of the sounds they can make, but it's very hard to communicate with them without being a Lyra yourself or using a spell like tongues.
Can we find someone who can speak it, so they can write a message or record a message for us?
Looks suspiciously at the Lyra across the map.
Yes, Venia. Heck.
If we can do it, let's do this. Make them mark their territories. Just send a message, not a human, just a messenger, like with a familiar, and ask them to mark the edges of their territory, and say we don't get in there. And if they extend it, they will extend the markings, so we will know. How about that?
Again, you are drastically overcomplicating the system that we have recommended. And I don't know why you are harping so hardly on this subject specifically.
Because it's they are going to move or extend, or something is going to happen, and when that happens, someone is going to accidentally get in their territory and they're going to die. I don't want that to happen.
I'm specifying out of character to you, the player. Like, again, you are overcomplicating the system, as we have explained it.
That's just what Nyana thinks. So
I know, but
Translation could be good, and contact at some point, possibly, but it takes time. But bringing big things in as a scare tactic might turn for the worse, rather than a communication. You get violence and nothing but. And they may be more violent afterwards. They might start attacking caravans and stuff, whereas they just left themselves alone. You could accidentally cause an issue, or we may have to eradicate it if you're going about it that way. The Lyra are hard to communicate with because of their unique tongue. You'd have to find a very good translator or a Lyra themselves. But going alone is a scary thought, as they could be unpredictable. They could just eat the person you send. They could actually be friendly.
Yeah,
Or
that's why I'm saying.
sacrifice them to whatever god they worship at the time.
That's right.
Like,
Dylius never communicated with him like he did the others.
Dylius did try to communicate with the Aquatl tribes as best as he could. Mine being one of those few that was in contact for quite some time. But we haven't heard from him in many years, so almost.
Hey, I gotta let my laptop cool down. It's almost at 200 degrees Fahrenheit right now.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm at 90 degrees Celsius currently, and it's raising again. It's not going back down.
Yeah.
Join with your phone.
So I will be. I'm gonna leave it in front of my fan and turn it off for a bit. So I'll be back in a little bit.
And you can join your
Yeah.
phone?
Yeah. I'm also gonna run downstairs and make myself some food too. While I'm
Yeah, no
I
problem,
was
buddy.
gonna say, has he considered replacing the battery? It sounds like it might be giving out and overheating.
You're right now is that it's just kind of hot in the UK, and this fan isn't really doing much for keeping my room cool, and it's definitely not doing shit for keeping my laptop cool. And I only have my browser running, which makes no sense on why it's burning so hot. So I can't really figure it
I
out.
mean, do you have an ice pack in the freezer?
Yeah, I can go get one.
Wrap it in a couple of towels and set it under the laptop.
All right. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm just gonna put my computer in sleep mode and leave it in front of my fan.
And do those other things. Yeah.
Yeah, and join on my phone, but I'm gonna mute myself because I'm gonna be making food.
No problem, bud. As long as you'll still be listening, so. Alright.
I'm like, all right. Let's skip the topic of Lyra tribes for now.
Okay.
What is the next thing we should decide on?
Leaders of
Standardized.
each of the cities. The ones who would be, I guess, what we'd call the council.
That
Yeah,
should be left up to the individual cities. It's their job to choose who represents them.
Currently, right now, Ricardo will point to Elias. They are the representative City of Metal. Points over to Astra. That one is the representative City of Glass. This one seems to be the sole representative of the City of Shadows. But as for the City of Ire, there's no one. Right now, the citizens are a bit unsure. Now, I know of a few that could be put there temporarily while things are sorted and voted for.
Hold on, I just need to real quick. Again, I'm curious what this
So-
person's motivation is,
Ah,
or at least what he's playing at.
how did he be? What the?
What?
Sorry, something very strange with this thing. He has fighter levels, but no subclass and other things that are kind of confusing because he has like a player sheet. Wow, I made this guy a long time ago. Oh, I am just a. He is just a noble concern for mostly himself.
And which settlement did he originally represent?
He seemed well. He was around the city of metal.
Hmm.
But he's a noble of the land. Or at least you could guess that just by the way he sort of dresses a little bit. I
I recommend
you reckon?
I recommend having a council of sorts for each city. Made out of the leaders of each group, such as like militia, tradesmen, and craftsmen, such as, and their leader, and they choose a representative for their city. Hmm.
All right. I having representatives of the guilds and merchants and stuff does sound like a decent idea, but too many leaders could cause an issue. I think having the representatives of the towns and cities, as
And
well as at least ones to represent the tribals as the council members, would be good enough. There are only total of four settlements.
There are
5 settlements.
There are four major cities, and then the scattered settlements and villages.
Yeah, and then there's this place.
Right.
Which would still be considered one of the major places.
do we have a population count
A population
for
count?
cities?
That would be difficult to gauge currently because
And estimate it.
all of the major cities are currently undergoing reconstruction.
We could probably get an answer later. I'm sure someone will go out using divination magic and try and figure out as one way to count people.
Yeah.
I cast the spell Census.
I cast the spell. What is the population?
Yeah.
Find population. There we go. Alright. But with that, alright. So
A
the citizens, since you have chosen a electory
edited version of locate animals or plants.
Please hold.
As you guys have chosen sort of a way of representing those places, that part of this whole thing can be
Yeah.
included.
We have established what Britain has a constitutional fucking monarchy.
Okay. Now we have the other things that we need to take care of. Next.
There was also the issue of how do we standardize a military across the continent, and also what to standardize with, because this continent has the uniquely natural boon of a lot of magic materials like adamantine and mithril.
Bringing back the forges would be one of them, as the forges.
Well, that's what the dwarves are for.
Yeah, that's what the City of Metal is for. That's what it was meant for, at least. The City of Ire is actually a place. Does have places of training and other things. So.
Forgive me for my outdated knowledge, but I should ask. Do this state use slaves?
Slavery has been abolished a long, long time ago. There are other outside kingdoms who have taken people of this land and sold them into slavery. Therefore, this land, don't ever think, will allow it.
There is technically the laborers in the prisons.
That is different. They're
for the
working
most part,
off their
those are
sentences.
criminals. Forced labor it was typically reserved for criminals to work off their sentence, or in the case of specific crimes to make use of their life sentences.
Yes. Not minor crimes were never
well, of course.
thrown there, obviously. No thievery or minor things. It was mostly the ones who murdered, magical mischief, breaking of major rules, were the ones who were sent to those places.
Sacrificing people to whatever misbegotten deity you worship. They're not there anymore.
Yeah.
I still see them. They're there.
You might need to reload the page.
No, that would kill my connection.
I don't know what to tell you, that you're lagging.
Hey.
Okay.
Welcome back.
All right. Then on the next topic is the how long do we think the reconstruction of the cities are going to take?
With magic, not very long. Especially with the druids actually coming and helping rebuilding the cities as a offering of peace, and to help with the natural state of things returning.
All right.
Reconstruction won't take very long.
Less than a month.
Especially now that all 3 cities have been liberated and there's not a chance of retaliations.
Though their prisons are filled up now.
Something we do need to get ahead on is vigilante or mob justice when it comes to those who collaborated with the Shardminds. Justice needs to be served, but allowing the people to take matters into their own hands is going to cause problems.
Well, I actually support it. If someone knows that someone helped the Shardminds, why won't they
Then it
punish
should
them?
be handled correctly and not in the hands of a mob.
I'm sure that Judge, High Judge Rick there could handle those matters well, as well as teach ones who have lost that kind of knowledge of our world.
By the way, did he take the vampire we had in our fucking small jail cell? Because she did technically belong to the City of Metal's justice system.
Which one? Sorry?
The one that was originally in the laboratory.
Oh, yeah. She was, Zaraya took them back to the City of Metal and was like, I don't know what their crimes are, but they're cured, and handed them over in handcuffs. He cured them of the curse they had, because they were one of the few that, they were a vampire who accidentally drank someone who was cursed with the metal, and that started killing them. Anyways, I gotta quickly pee.
So out of character.
Mm-hmm.
I still think we should have some way of communication with those tribes.
You motherfucker.
It won't happen.
What you are suggesting is going to cause more problems than you're willing to listen to.
Yeah,
like,
but
we have
like,
explained why that is a bad idea, and you're not listening.
what stops from any group to decide, okay, we are a tribe now, and this land is ours, get the fuck out, saying that to the state?
Because these are well-established tribes that have
They-
been around for a long time.
Thing is,
Yeah,
though, if
like
we
a group can just go and create their own settlement in a
It's
few
not
weeks.
how it
the
works.
thing is, though, if we go your approach, where we end up sending an army for intimidation, we are going into their territory. They know that land better than anyone. There can be traps and fucking all sorts.
Like,
It-
again, you
I'm
keep
back.
Extreme
making
risk.
suggestions on how to deal with it. The easiest solution and the one that causes the less problems is to just establish a zone
something.
around it and leave it alone.
Oh, are we on that topic again?
I'm thinking from a state's
Out of character.
perspective.
Oh.
If in my land there were some people who didn't listen to what we say and attacked us when we get near them, those are rebels. Those are fucking terrorists. Boom them.
No, it's a different concept to the fact of this is how they live. It's how they always have lived. So trying to change
It's like going into
how
the
they've been
middle
brought up
of
and everything, it won't work.
Africa and
Yeah,
talking
world
to those
changes.
tribes and trying to like force them to communicate, or going to an island that has been isolated from mostly people and an area that's like not very well traveled by people. They're going to be xenophobic as hell towards people.
What's that one island where a few people went past? Well, a few went through via plane and some went via boat. As soon as they were spotted, arrows were fired at them.
Arrows
Yeah,
and other things, yes.
it's an island in Pacific. It still exists.
That's what I mean. It'll be the same situation. Yes, it's a land-based settlement. They're not on an island.
I also
but-
think it's cruel to not go there and modernize these people. I
They
bet
don't
they're
want to.
That's
living.
not your choice to make, though.
Over time, Mary, as the tribal leader, elder, as Flo mentioned, she is okay with the idea of trying to contact them and kind of get them introduced to the people outside, because at some point in time, yes, it is going to happen where the modern, your guys' modern era, bumping into them because of the areas they're going to be in. And she knows this. What she's saying is, don't try and force it harshly. Try and slowly gain trust and try and slowly bring it back. Instead of
It
like
would be a better.
pushing
would
it
be a
hard
better.
and then getting retaliation. She doesn't. She wants it as. She doesn't
It would be
want
better
violence.
to leave that job to the druids because they already live a more primitive lifestyle as it is.
And they would technically like accidentally fit in, probably some of them. And
Also, they can do the very funny yet sneaky tactic of using polymorph.
True. Well, wild shape, and they can
Establish communication that way with the Lyra.
Yeah.
Wild shape doesn't allow you to play. It doesn't allow you to change into other races. Polymorph does.
Oh, that I was just meaning like as like a going in as like a random animal.
Moo, says the very suspicious cow that shouldn't be here.
Let me be
First time I met in Baldur's Gate.
I always
fucking-
kill that cow.
Literally just a fucking dairy cow in the middle of the jungle. Shouldn't be there.
Motherfucker
I
get
wonder
eaten.
where the druid is.
If you kill the cow in the grove, you get a ring, and I mix that
Yeah.
ring with the helmet.
It's is it
Disguise
plus
spell.
plus one AC, plus one survival, or something like that?
No, it gives you a plus 1d4 to all your ability checks.
Okay. I found the one that gives them plus one to AC, one to survival, and I think something else as well, maybe.
Yep.
Anyways,
you have no idea
alright.
what I've done in
Let's-
this game.
Let's leave it to the druids.
Yes, it'd be a better idea.
All right.
So
What's the next thing we should decide on?
the next thing is promises made. Victor wanted the promise that his city will have the rule of no magic except for the druid shrine that he promised, that the cathedral area that he promised to the druids and clerics.
We found the interesting complication of that when we found out that the fucking Spores druids claimed the sewers. And they fill a vital role of preventing waste buildup and diseases.
Oh yeah. I think Victor would understand that the druids there, as long as they don't disturb the city itself, are fine to be the weird hermits they are.
Don't worry, the city is free of magic. What about the sewers?
We don't talk about the sewers. We don't talk
What
about
sewers? There's nothing there.
Remember, Jimbimus, don't go into the sewers at night. That's where the scary people live. What happens if I go into the sewers?
You want to find out?
Now,
I would like to ask if the no magic rule is a
That is for everybody. No caster, no spell casting. Period.
Above ground.
I'm asking if that is the idea of Victor or idea of everybody in the city.
there's no
That
one
is
else
the
in the
idea
city
of-
except
He
for
is
a
establishing-
dragon and him.
He is reclaiming the ruins of a city and is establishing a magic-free zone because of past experiences. Because he specifically, due to his curse, was harassed by wizards. I almost said druids because Nikki gaslit him in character creation. Or the character was gaslit in lore by a bunch of fucking assholes.
Wizards of the Circle of Metal, which is a metallurgy joke.
We're Nikki, that they're no longer going to be a thing. I will kill them all.
All right, so that we'll get to that. Now, Victor's main thing is he wants to have that city magic free by any means, but he's okay with the druids and stuff because he had a debate with Swumi and finally agreed to it finally agreed to a compromise as medical use of magic is in his eyes fine.
The problem is with certain hexes and curses, the only way to remove it is magic.
Yeah.
The idea of the cathedral is it is being converted into a place where specifically divination-based casters like druids, clerics, and paladins have a space where they can do their duties without being hindered by the city's law.
Yeah.
It is the only exception to the rule other than the sewers. Nobody should ever be in the sewers for any reason.
In any of the cities.
I see.
No. There's
This is the only place
Those
right now that
motherfuckers
doesn't
are
have
scary.
it right now. But
we don't have sewers.
not yet. The kobolds could easily change that fact.
I fucking forgot you gave them a power drill.
They do have a power drill, and they could technically
I hope they've not.
make a sewage line.
I hope
But
they've not flooded themselves again.
they do not want to do it. They would not be able to do it this close to a lake, though. It would be so bad on them and
Plumbing
their
is a
end.
bad
They
idea.
they would
I'm gonna say they've not started-
they would accidentally contaminate the lake.
They've not also accidentally started flooding themselves again, have they?
No, not this time.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh yes,
Just me?
the man in jail. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we'll deal with him. We'll deal with him later.
Yeah. So, so you keep your promise to Victor. He's very happy about that, and the city will eventually flourish. But it also has a protection of a dragon right now, so that's fun.
Yeah, no. Here's the problem. I could totally pull the "oh, you thought I was being serious." Then I have a pissed off monk who kills people for fun, and a dragon.
I don't think most of us in this room would last long.
No, he'd kill everyone in that room. I doubt Erikai could hold out for a decent amount of time, but Victor is a fucking combat monster.
The only way I'd be able to escape is if I took flight and got out of range.
Even
I'm in a room, so
no, you can't get out of range because he has his bullshit monastic art that makes his melee attacks ranged attack.
He would have to get 120 feet
range,
up in the air by the time he can hit. By the time he gets to you.
Yep.
You have
Victor
two.
is a menace to society.
You would have 3 rounds to get up to the sky, which was
I could
rounds.
I could get 90 feet in one round.
90 feet in 1 round. Okay, never mind. So yeah, 2 rounds.
So I can move, dash, and then Misty Step. I think that'd work, won't it?
Well, there's action dash, bonus action dash.
Yeah. Well, either way, then yeah, do 90 feet a turn.
You okay? To answer your thing, Dursun, you realize that the city isn't isolated. It's still part of the government. It still falls under the same protection of the Continental Army. It's
just
the only
it's
city
individual
where
law.
casters are not allowed within the city walls.
No, they're allowed
They're
in,
not
but they
allowed.
just
They're
can't
not allowed to
use.
cast within the city walls. So if people start casting within the city walls, they're clearly not part of the fucking government.
It's not like they won't have any means of stopping magic. That's one thing Victor knows. He has anti-magic weapons.
Also, the city is claimed and protected by motherfucking dragon.
Yeah. And
They'll
it
try
is gonna
to
get
peril.
it is gonna so basically Victor is the pseudo leader of that town or that city because he's the only one who lives in it at the moment. Once there is more citizens, it'll be a city that is protected by a dragon. As long as they don't use their magic there.
My fucking magic. Oh, well, there goes Dursun.
Oh, he's
Internet problems, probably.
probably.
Welcome back.
I'm back. Sorry, I was refreshing Foundry and killed my connection for a sec.
Understandable.
Why does,
So we
why
thought
does
so.
your internet hate you?
So, next part.
I'm in the middle of nowhere.
One of the original parts of your guys' campaigns was checking out the ruins of the land around you. Now, what do you want to restore those places or return them to nature?
I'd
Most
say that
of the
depends on how
ruins-
close it is to the druid shrines.
So, thing is, with most of the ruins, they were old structures or settlements. It would be better to restore them because they are still usable.
All right. One of them was a couple of them were outposts for like military outposts. And one of them was the City of Shadows, which you guys are restoring anyways. Another one was a temple to one of the Farseers. And
was the outpost the first one we went to that we used the ballistas? We saw the was it the Soul Sake?
Yeah.
Was that the outpost?
Yes.
That was that was not a coastal, but it was definitely an outpost that got yoinked by a foreign power.
Yeah.
I'd probably say we keep that as a military outpost because obviously it should still have the ballistas on the wall and stuff like that. I mean, they worked at the time. I used one, but they're still there as a different story.
Remember when we went there and then our carriage got destroyed in the middle of the night?
It got set on fire, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it got set aflame.
It got. Nikki was like, haha, funny Oni. Now your carriage is destroyed.
Funny.
They didn't last long.
I mean,
that fucking ballista shot. I was so happy with that.
We tried to negotiate with them. They decided to be a bunch of dicks.
To be honest, I'm just happy I got a hit with the ballista, to be perfectly honest.
So, you want to restore some of them and the ones that are... Some of the ruins weren't really anything much to like...
Oh, it's like a single building or something.
Well, some of it was just land. Like a battlefield.
I mean,
I'd say the battlefields would let nature. I'd let nature take its course on them.
Scavenge what is there to be repurposed, but ultimately leave the rest to be reclaimed.
Yep.
Thing is, though, if we are rebuilding certain ones, what's there to say that someone else from another settlement doesn't take initiative and try and rebuilding it on their own behalf? It's nothing against that, is there?
Nope. There's no one against doing all that stuff. They'll, a lot of the villages will eventually spread out, and the city as well. it's possible that people want to be entrepreneurs and establish towns, sit and little villages themselves. But
Good luck with that.
And
it's really hard to,
speaking of-
especially with the dinosaurs that roam around these parts. And the storm.
Speaking of
Oh,
ruins.
that's the other part I wanted to talk about. What are you guys gonna do about the storm of blades?
I literally, Nikki, I literally have a spell for this.
Yeah.
Hold on. What? Where is it?
while you're finding that,
Reverse
I
gravity.
haven't-
Just kidding.
No.
I haven't seen a single witch anywhere. All this travel. Did something happen in the 50 years? I mean, we were not common, but there were at least a couple of us.
We have witch doctors within some of our tribes.
Is there a coven established anywhere nearby? Oh, we have a druid here. They must have some connection with the coven of
I-
Norn.
You have been. This has been explained to you multiple times. There is a coven within the shrine.
Yep.
Oh yeah, but I'm asking, is there in the cities?
No.
No,
Think
they've been
the
taken over, haven't they? So
main-
they would have hightailed it.
Norn and Thalage are the two that are common here. But, there's another one that's okay. Okay. There are witches, mostly in the shrines, and they do work with druids. But there's also the Hex Takers, which are we'll call them enforcers of the wrath of nature. Especially if you use magic to disrupt nature or destroy it.
I was gonna say, I believe we talked about this before. I'm pretty sure we agreed we could stop the storm with something like this. Or dispel magic at a high enough level.
Dispel magic at a high enough level would disrupt the storm. It is a magical storm after all.
Have we not
Yeah.
found the true source of what is creating storms?
Oh, it was just that one storm. It was randomly it was caused by the cataclysm. It was a
Okay.
miasmic storm that just continued to pick up metal pieces of everything. Because when the land was cursed by metal, it would pick up like tree branches and other things, which would be like metal and sharp. It would pick up rocks that were metal and stuff, so it just slowly became a storm of metal shards and stuff.
I don't think we
Be
ever
quite a cool
determined
spell.
what spell level equivalent the storm was.
I mean,
thought
I
at
can-
least 5.
7th.
I can know when it is coming, and we
7.
can take precautions.
Hey, Nikki,
Nice level.
you gave me access to 9th level spell slots.
Yeah.
How close do you have to be for dispel magic, though?
120 feet.
Not close enough to get hit by it, but enough to
Okay.
feel its winds and know that it's fucking common.
That you should run.
Moments. But
We'll probably deal with that. It will probably be dealing with that within the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, though, it'll be
Taking
less
place.
metal flying around it
so
now, so it'll be.
small little details of the land. Now, I was gonna talk to you guys about the Demon Tower, but me and Soviet decided that you guys are gonna pawn that off to another group.
Fuck it.
Like,
Fair.
As much as it like, here's the thing.
I know you guys don't want to go through
After
another
that,
tower
I think
dungeon.
both you and Tenacity would agree with me. I don't want to go through another linear dungeon arc.
You could always just blow up the
It
building.
would be the Cannibal Tower all over again.
I missed that one. I wasn't here.
Except for without Phil releasing a demon again.
So
Stop fucking shit,
yeah,
won't
we're not doing that
Sorry, I
anymore.
can't
That's
help
being
it.
pawned off to someone else to resolve. I refuse.
And that's perfectly fine.
So I have my
that's-
GPU at 60 degrees Celsius now while I have this fan literally sitting in front of it on top of a trash can that is on top of a stool.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know
put
if we can hear that a little bit in your mic.
Did you put the ice pack wrapped in towels?
What ice pack at this point? You mean the bag of fucking water?
If it's cold enough, it'll
What
still work.
the fuck?
No, it's warm now. It's lukewarm water.
Then throw it back in the fucking freezer.
I meant like the fucking ice pack you put in a lunchbox.
Oh, I just took a baggie and put ice cubes in it.
That's not what I meant.
That doesn't last
I
as
don't
long.
have an ice pack. I don't make pack lunches. If I had a wife, I'd have pack lunches, but I don't now, do I?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm very tempted to just grab an ice, roll it in a towel, and just put it on my back because it's fucking uncomfortable right now.
Is it really that hot for you guys right now?
Yes.
At the moment, it's only about 22 degrees Celsius now, I think. It was about 30 at the start of the session.
Not bad.
Are you kidding me, dude?
It's
It was-
about that right now.
It was
for me.
45 degrees fucking Celsius earlier, man. And we don't have central aircon.
It's not just that our buildings aren't built for it. We're not built for hot weather.
No.
We're built for keeping heat
I mean,
in rather than.
you can still get small units like the ones that hang out of windows.
Yeah, but they're about
Yeah, but
300
they're
plus
ridiculous
pounds.
expensive. And then also to run it, you're gonna run your electricity bill through the fucking roof.
Yeah,
That
and
sounds
a
like
lot
skill
of-
issue.
a lot of windows in England, they don't open up, they open out, so there's not much space to put an AC unit.
Sounds like a late stage skill issue. You should have.
Hey, I didn't build a fucking house. I didn't build the house.
So, now comes the fun part.
Oh boy.
The fun part of what the fuck are you guys gonna do with... Okay, I actually have a representative for this. Nakano's here.
Oh no.
Here we go again.
She is here for the fun little thing of the Crystal Empire's archives and what to do with them. They are technically outsiders in your land.
So
I mean, they've not
I've
caused any
brought
harm.
this up as an option before. The logical way to think about this is they have two options. They can either petition the cities and the government that is being established to establish the archives as an embassy, which I could see a problem with that because the Crystal Empire originally did start the conflict that led to a bunch of outside intervention on the continent. So they could try, but it might not work. The most likely thing to happen is they need to remove the archives.
All right.
If you want to do rolls to see if they're successful in petitioning a embassy establishment, that's fine. But
What about,
I don't see it as likely.
would it be a bad thing to have the archive transported to here? This is talking outside
No,
of character.
because this is going to be the 5th major city once it is fully established and a port city.
But no, that's what I mean. So obviously, outsiders will be coming to this place anyway through the port, more than likely. So
we
it's
establish trade guilds and things like that.
yeah, that's what I mean. So
But-
obviously we'll have outsiders coming in and out anyway.
Yeah, where the
So they
archive
won't-
is placed, it is west
I know it's
of
quite a
the
distance.
City of Glass.
Again, the problem is specifically is that it belongs to the Crystal Empire,
Mhm.
and they did technically start a lot of the problems on this continent. Now, unlike the Scalic Dominion, after the Crystal Wars concluded, they kept to themselves and did not interfere with anything. So they have that going for them. They've remained out of the continent's affairs. I would say the best is to leave it up to chance and do some rolls to see if they are successful in establishing an embassy. If they're not, then they gotta go.
No, that's fair.
Anyone disagree?
It's one of those things where having the archive is still beneficial with the knowledge and whatnot.
It
But
is.
it's the
but
fact of
It's the fact, like, here's the thing: if we want to keep the archive, they either have to establish it as an embassy, or we take it from them. And I don't think you want to fuck with them. They got scary magic powers and shit.
No, I wouldn't
Let's
want
burn
to. I'd rather not fight them anyway.
We are
They've
not
been- they've been
burning
chill
a
with us.
fucking library.
I'm just gonna fucking burn you in a minute. I have the
But
means.
we're not pulling a Library of Alexandria here.
It will be so easy. Like they are so flammable.
I mean, yes, but getting close enough, I don't think you'll have the chance.
I want to remind you, Dursun. I have literally the spell designed to kill you.
The spell designed to kill you?
Burn at the stake.
Oh, yeah.
It is a druid
No.
spell. It is a druid spell specifically designed to deal with witches.
It is also a witch spell.
Do you have it? Do you have it prepared as well?
Not yet. Nikki
That
hasn't
was-
added the spell to
Oh.
my spell list, despite
Right.
the fact of me reminding them.
No, it's not a druid spell. It's a paladin spell.
It
I think it's in
Droogan
both.
stated specifically it is for paladins and druids.
It's a paladin and witch spell on my end.
There might be a bit.
I'm looking at it.
It's a bit ironic that a witch has that spell built
Yeah,
to kill witches.
they don't like you if you have it. If you have it as a witch, other witches don't like you.
Burn at the stake. Witch, warlock, cleric, and paladin. And it's supposed to be also, yes, druid. Sorry.
Yes.
So everybody except wizards and sorcerers.
Yes, because
And
fuck
me.
those guys.
Might as well give it to rangers as well if druids can have it.
No.
What's that supposed to mean? I don't want your petty spells. I don't want your pity. Fuck you.
Mistake.
Rangers aren't the
I don't think they're high enough level.
No.
smiting type.
It's
No.
a 4th level spell.
It is.
I don't have 4th level either. I have 2nd. So I won't be able to use it regardless.
Yeah, you're only a level 8 ranger, though.
Indeed.
But on a okay, so more than likely what's gonna happen is I have to talk to Radio to see what his opinion of it is, and I will get back to you on that part. Because his character's gonna be here, so as a paladin he may be able to
Fuck.
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
Yeah.
No.
Who's this again?
Everything comes full circle.
Radio.
Who are we on about?
Radio's character in For the Crystal Empire, his alternate character,
Radio.
He's currently not
Oh,
active character.
his currently not active character is coming to the Icefields to help deal with the library that problem, which
Oh, okay.
we'll establish that part and everything. Okay, next up, since we're dealt with that, she doesn't need to be here anymore. She's fine. Right. Our elite is a representative from the Myriad Kingdom.
Fuck.
Why?
big-
Who are they?
The big magic kingdom. They want. She would like to establish a alliance.
They want our resources, don't they?
In exchange, some resources, yes, but in exchange for magic knowledge and magic tech.
That's not an alliance. That's a trade.
That's it.
But it is
Can
a
be both.
trade of knowledge and power. Because they would be allies, therefore, if something happens, they could be there for them.
I mean, the Myriad Kingdoms, from what I understand, before they disappeared, really kept to themselves.
Yes.
So they need to rebuild or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
The fucking guidance in now.
I'm gonna do an insight check. So
Oh,
I just gave myself guidance. How does it feel? Is there any ulterior motives to their alliance?
no,
Do they want to kill us?
no, they do not want to kill you or take over your country. They are truthful in what they are meaning. They do want to establish connections here.
I'm ready to dip this country and run to the Magic Empire like in a minute. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, so the real question is, what specifically are they after?
What material?
And that's where it comes up. What they want. They want a specific metal from this place.
God damn it.
Sir, I couldn't hear you. What do they want?
They want a specific metal.
Yeah.
How much of the metal are they wanting?
Oh, I
What-
still can't hear you. Fuck
Yeah,
my
more than where
connection.
it's working.
What metal?
Obsidian chromium, which is only found here in the Icefields. It is a
What does it?
it has certain magical properties, which I've never actually explained, and I will explain now. It is meant for spellcrafting. It is actually required in most spellcrafting. Well, not most. Certain spellcrafting. All of their spellcrafting stuff right now is all very broken and things, so they need to repair them. Which is why they need the metal, so they can repair the altars and devices they use to craft spells safely without causing any damage to the user.
How much of this material are they after?
Well, until they don't need it anymore.
They're wanting to establish long-term trade.
No,
Here's
what I mean
the-
is, so for trade, obviously it'll be so much per week, per month, something like that. Have they given us a figure how much they want in that regard, or
This very moment,
Is
I
it
do
more
not
so?
have a figure.
or is it more so allowing them to come over and just mine what they need and then leave type thing?
It would be more of an established trade where they would come with magic, tomes and other things, or tech. That would be of equal value to the metal that they purchase.
And how rare is this metal on the continent?
It is rarest metal on Erikov, but is not super duper rare in the metallurgic Icefields because this land mass is it has a lot of underground veins of metal. Hence the why its curse became very funny and ironic. Because the metal that is of this land does touch ley lines, hence why some of the metals here are very powerful in that regard. The metal they're after is mined next to a ley line, which is why they need it, because it's very magically charged.
So in other words, we can get some pretty good magical gear, scrolls, tomes, or anything from them for this material then.
Yeah. Essentially.
I'll leave that decision up to the actual magic users because Ennaq wouldn't know much about it.
There's a slight complication with this idea, though. Is what exactly are they going to be using their spell crafting ability for?
New magic
Do I
items, new magic
Do I know much about
spells.
their history of what type of magic they use and what they use it for?
The Myriad Kingdom was basically all magic was free to be used, but not ones that messed with the undead. Necromancy was one of the only magics that was banned back in the olden times of the Myriad Kingdom, unless it was
just
healing spells.
Healers. I was about to say,
except for when it came to that part of necromancy, healing. They just didn't want undead.
I was about to say, necromancy is banned. Well, fuck all of our healers then. Sorry, guys, go home. They banned your magic. Wait, what do you mean healing is necromancy? I don't make the fucking rules, man.
So the only bits that were banned was like reanimating the dead.
Raise dead. Raise.
Not so much revivify type magic. It's more raising corpses to do your bidding type magic.
Raising corpses, ghouls, ghasts, any of the undead, anything to do with undead
creating
and the unnatural.
aberrations.
That too. Yeah. So, their magic is but one thing that actually is now banned in the city is demonology and things to do with Hellions. No one is allowed to research except for under special circumstances and surveillance due to their new past with demons and devils.
Sorry, tieflings, you're not allowed in this city.
They're allowed.
Half of the party is not allowed.
Actually, there is a district for Hellions specifically. It is run by a few devils and a low-level demon. They have shops, a bar, and a few housings, and they're allowed there due to a promise that was made. But
a country full of racists.
Sure.
Elves are normally, but you know.
They don't like undeads and
just undeads.
Hellions.
It's just their magic and stuff. They don't want another demon incursion like they had before, which razed their entire city to the ground and destroyed their kingdom. They just don't want a repeat of the past.
Understandable.
Racism.
Nikki, I just realized the name of one of these Dragonborn. Why the fuck do you have so many Dragonborn named Delmirev?
Because they're related.
It's a common name.
Nikki, why are all of the purple ones named that?
Because
we have not seen a single purple one that isn't.
Because they're all from the same family.
Oh,
This is Delmirev Rogar's brother. Delmirev Marius. As explained by the player character, Delmirev is, in technicality, the family name, and the name after it is their given name.
Yeah, Japanese style.
Or taken, or like the
Like
name
it.
they taught. Yeah, it's like that, kind of. But that's just how his family works and stuff, and that's just how they've done it. Their father is a crazy necromancer, but that's besides the point.
Ah, here. That's my father from a different game.
He has been seen in other games, but he's evaded as well.
What do you think, Sylvia? Do you think this pact will be a beneficial one?
I mean, the City of Shadows isn't going to be happy about it.
Probably not.
Also, where specifically are these veins located?
Ah.
About that.
I don't like that.
The Volcano Mountain, aka like the Breath of
Okay.
Bahamut. That's what it's called.
The Breath of Muhammad?
Somewhere in the middle of the forest of whispers,
So that's not
God
halal.
damn
and
it.
somewhere in the Shard Dunes. Now, I know the druids will not give up allowing anyone to mine underneath the forest, so that place is out of question. But the Shard Dunes is not, and neither is the Breath of Bahamut. But when you go near that place, yeah, you're dealing with the mithril dragons of this land and the adamantine dragons. And the other metallic dragons that roam.
They're what we call very pissed off and territorial.
So we only have one place to
The
choose.
funny part about the Icefields is on one side of the river you have metallic dragons. On the other side you have chromatic dragons that are hiding within the forests or the other areas of near the City of Ire. Or like in the City of Shadows. But the Sea of Shadows, that dragon just has been there a long time and went there a long time ago. And it's not native to this land, but has been here long enough that he's just established that he lives here now. And hard to find a ancient dragon such as himself.
So, in other words, we only have one spot that is safe enough to mine from.
Well, one spot that is mostly safe and one spot that would be sneaking around dragons.
So one spot's safe enough.
Yes. This land is dangerous.
What part of the ecosystem do dragons serve here, other than just being predators?
The metallic dragons keep the leviathans from keep the leviathans away.
Necromantic?
Why? Why are they afraid of metallic dragons?
It's more or less they protect the shorelines of from leviathans because it is closest to the abyssal sea. So, it allows they're basically a protection for boats that are near the coastline of the Icefields. Which, in turn, it's why not a lot of people go after the metal dragons or try to go near their mountains and stuff to disturb them, because they do help fishermen and things on the other side to not get attacked by large leviathans that roam the deep, deep waters. That's why they exist. Now, the chromatic dragons are just assholes. That's
so
it.
if we get rid of them, it's fine.
No.
For the
Why
mo-
would we do
For
that?
the most part, yes.
They're assholes.
They might be assholes, but we can come to an understanding.
No.
The other party got attacked by one because they looked like they were a rich caravan.
You are an asshole, and we are not killing you.
I'm probably the least arsehole out of the lot of us.
Look,
Apart from
I
They-
think it would.
They're more or less
I-
a problem as long as they're kept in check. They're, for the most part, going to keep to themselves in their dens and burrows. But they will get greedy, and that
I think-
satiation
I
needs to be
think
found.
it would be beneficial for this continent if we drove out all of the chromatic dragons
more than
I
likely.
say the opposite. Why don't we embrace them?
because they're
Because they're not
assholes.
bothered about that. This is
Yeah,
the same
but-
talk about the freaking tribes. God damn it!
So
Yeah.
you could.
I'm bringing
I
it
will.
up again.
I will agree with Nyana on the other side of that spectrum is yes, in technicality, you could try and talk to the chromatic dragons in some regard, but that would be a druid thing to do, and even then, some of the druids are a little afraid of the chromatic dragons because they're
We are going to their
aggressive
territory to
and
mine shit, right?
unpredictable.
It is their territory. We are going to mine stuff there. Let's just
No,
pay them. They
not-
love money.
Oh.
They love gold.
We are
Oh,
the
you
wrong
can-
mining
dragon.
you-
is not near them.
Now, the metallic dragons are just territorial. They love their mountain. But also, those ones are also very attracted to, I think it's money and magic. I'm trying to remember.
Depending on the dragon's type, they all like different things. Like a copper dragon loves stories. A bronze dragon loves jokes.
We just show them Phil. He's the biggest joke out of the lot of us.
Ha 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 ha! Fuck you,
Ha 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 ha! Eldritch blast.
bro.
Itty bitty.
Elder Blair. Fuck's sake.
You know, speaking of Elder Blade, where the fuck
So
is
yeah, the
Twinkacity?
metallic dragons don't work mostly. So the metallic dragons don't always.
Who's that?
As I said, the metallic dragons are just slightly territorial of their mountain. They love their mountain, and they are, for the past many centuries and millennia, they've been left alone by the people of the land, and in turn, they protect them from things they can't see.
We just do an aura 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 shooting each other Eldritch blasts.
Just hitting
Yeah,
each other's
or it's a
blasts
meeting
at each
thing.
other. Yeah. Hilarious.
Who's got friggin' blue and purple friggin'
So, okay.
energies? Just
Blue Moo.
I'll put this one out as a
Made in
maybe.
heaven.
yeah, I wouldn't
Emmanuel
say you're not gonna have
It's
much
just
to
going to be
say to
over
that one.
here because we dealt with the that part of things. Okay.
I still see Victor there. Fuck Foundry.
So Elder Flow is going to. I think we guys took care of what you guys are going to do with the tribes. So she's dealt
Yeah.
with. All right. Now it's just druid shit.
Yes.
All right.
Joy.
I'm so thrilled that we're dealing with this.
And we still need a name.
Nafash wants to restore the reefs around because the reefs are the which will be fun. He understands that extending the forests of the Druid Shrine would be sort of stepping on the toes of the lands of the Icefields, so they'll keep their forest the same, but this town will be protected will be under the nature protection of the Druids. But they can't really spread that to the other places. The ley lines will be protected by Druids and have a small circle protecting each of the different ley lines. Or it could be established that you can put other shrines there. And that's a discussion we're going to have right now.
So how many ley lines do we have passing through
Drew-
this place?
No offense.
There are 4 ley lines that are crossroad. There are 2 crossroad ley lines. One in the Druid Shrine, and one near the City of Ire. Then the other 2 ley lines are just ley lines. Regular ley lines on the northwestern and southwestern parts of the Icefields. They're just in the 4 different quadrants.
No offense to the rest of the party. This is more of Swumi's business than it is theirs.
Well,
Yeah,
technically, Ennaq would have some, because he is a ranger.
Right. I'm talking specifically for
I know.
Nyana.
Fair.
Okay.
I believe the best way to handle the ley line situation is to establish a new circle of druids.
Okay.
Solely for the defense or the upkeep of the ley line.
I.e. for chat out there working on a new subclass.
So you are the subclass.
So yes, new subclass.
I will
for
burn your house
druids.
down.
I think
luck, it's been
I
on
think after this campaign as well, and after I think Civil War is done, I think we're gonna try and use shifters and druids as like separate. Maybe. We'll see.
We were talking about one of the. I can't remember what it was from. We were talking about a specific druid subclass. I think it was one of the UA or something that we were going to reintegrate but call it something else. Or you talked about one specifically related to ley lines before.
Yeah. I haven't started on that one. I think it was the Primeval I was thinking about changing. Yeah, the Circle of Primeval.
No, it's the Circle of Ancients.
Oh, well, yes, I know. The UA is Primeval. But
Yeah.
the one I want to make is called the Ancients. But I have a better idea for it anyway.
Establishing a
I just want to be a pseudo artificer, not a full artificer, just to where I could make myself a flintlock and make shit go boom.
So.
Oh, we'll be getting to trade routes in a moment. Don't worry.
Establishing a specific druid circle to deal with the ley lines. Also, restoring the coastline to its natural state.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that needs to be done because I'm not sure if our curing of the curse has gotten rid of the jagged, massive spikes of metal
Created by the coral reefs.
It's not just that as well. It could have had some damaging effects on the coral reef itself. Obviously, it's habitat for certain fish. And...
Right.
Oh yeah, metal fish. Still
fish.
exist. There are some metal fish still out in the ocean.
There are metal fish in the harbor. We don't talk about those.
Yeah.
Not too much we can do about it, really, though.
That's a job for Gumbo and Soggle. The 2 barbarian buddies.
Oh fuck! We should have returned those items to Gumbo.
I'll go off and do that
Yeah,
afterwards.
you could do that. And that most of those things would have been established that you would have done those things for them.
Eventually, yes.
Gumbo don't like me.
I wonder why.
He's just a simple-minded man,
Yeah.
and you just... It's not that he doesn't like you. You confused him.
I feel like he doesn't like me.
He has.
Is
He
he
has-
sexist?
He has I'm pretty sure he has single digit IQ. No, not single digit. He has double digit IQ.
That's not too bad. It can be 99.
They're sim-
No.
And what's
So-
IQ?
They're... So, they usually were... they're warrior folk. They're warrior tribal people. So, generally, they like fighting or protecting tribes. So their main usage around the Icefields has been either being soldiers or protecting other tribal villages that they would like roam into and stuff. Generally,
I see.
they are very
And,
simple-minded.
what-
They have no idea what the heck greed, lust, or other things. It's very freaking. It is a fucking far-off concept to them. They
I'm
have
pretty sure they
troubles
can't be
even.
charmed.
Yeah, they can't be charmed. Or, well, they roll at disadvantage. People get disadvantage against targeting Galgiri. So, like, if you try and charm them and stuff, they'll have advantage against the roll because they're really dumb and they don't understand
Yeah.
what you're trying to do.
So, Swumi, what's IQ? Is
But
it
also, they're not very
it
good
like
at
IC?
persuading other people. Pardon?
You keep responding to shit in character. I say out of character.
I know, but it's funny. Tell me in character, what is IQ?
What?
No.
Anyways.
Uh,
Okay, so with that in order, so you guys are more druid stuff. Next part. This is a port town now. And
Yeah.
you guys are going to need some imports as well as exports to be able to keep an economy going now that you are no longer an isolated country and are fucking trying to survive off of themselves. Now, mind
I
you,
think
that's
nobody
not a
wants to
bad
buy-
thing. There's not a bad thing about being completely isolated. The Icefields does have resources of food, resources of money and metal and things to be able to establish themselves as a proper country, no problem. But
I'm pretty
They
sure we
do
seized
need
the wealth of
things.
that one asshole.
yeah. But also we have the problems of needing to establish trades with other countries to also kind of gain some relationships with other countries so that in case of things starting up again in the country, you have at least allies out there. In a way.
I'm pretty sure we've established this well before Dursun was here. Fuck the Scalic Dominion.
So, Scalic Dominion is a no-go. They're instantly off the charts because of the damage they have done to this country, or this continent. So, this nation will no. So, in doing so, in technicality, the Gnome Drakius Empire would also coincide with that.
Yeah.
So,
So no Magitech.
well, unless you go with our lead.
Right. Again, so just to reemphasize, fuck the Scalic Dominion, and by extension, I guess the Numdrakius Empire, even though
So,
their relationship is rocky at best at the moment.
alright.
The Crystal Empire is to be determined.
Okay.
The kingdoms from the Scorched Barrens, I don't think have tried anything on this continent, so they're fine. And then
No.
the Primordial Blessed Lands are pretty much.
The Golden Sun Confederation.
I don't think the Ashlands have tried any trade.
Well,
with
the
the-
Ashlands.
Ashlands
isolate
are
themselves.
the Ashlands are an isolation
Yeah.
nation. But
They're isolationists by choice.
if you want to learn about them, watch Ash and Blood, as they're going through the whole politics and other things around the people there.
If the Ashlands, for some reason, decide to communicate, they haven't shown any signs of being problematic.
Yeah.
They'll probably be fine unless they do something
Stupid.
like the Scaly Dominion did. The Primordial Blessed Lands are fine. Literally, the only two countries that are contested, one of them only because they are associated with the other, are the Scalic Dominion and the Numdrakius Empire.
Okay. Alright, then I will need to know your opinion of the Grand Bazaar. Do you want to do trade with the Thieves Guild and their city?
No,
Okay.
not really. They're assholes.
Sylvan Empire.
They
Would you
also-
like to trade with the very prude elves?
Are they going to cause problems?
I'd say
They deal with a lot of
long-
Fey things.
They
as
do.
long as it's not going to cause harm or any issues with this nation.
Well,
then I
The
don't see too much
problem with the Sylvan Empire. So here's the problem with the Thieves Guild. They are not against things like slavery or, the abhorrent types of scientific research that we saw in fucking Esker's lab.
Isn't Phil part of the Thieves Guild?
Yes, but
Yes.
Oh yeah, there is illegal.
Okay.
There was an illegal lab there. Yeah. They do allow
so
illegal things. Quotation marks.
the problem is the Grand Bazaar is technically a legitimate market. I say technically because there is also the black market, which actually controls everything. Now,
I-
Phil would have specific character motivation to advocate for trading with the Bazaar, but,
Thing is, regardless of what we try to do, the black market will still make its way here regardless.
Yeah.
It'll always find a way.
Regardless of what you try, it will find its way there. Yes.
So I'd say trading
If
with
you
the Grand
establish
Bazaar.
trade.
Yeah, trade with the Grand Bazaar. I don't have a problem with.
as long as they're not, bringing in things like more fucking poachers.
more
and
poachers, slaves,
So-
shit like that. Anything to no, that is not allowed in the trade agreement.
Golden Sun
would be on a
Confederation.
They
Oh, sorry.
again,
real?
they haven't done anything that would bar them from trade.
All right.
The Sylvan
Pirates
Empire
of the.
you brought up.
I was about to say the funniest line I'll ever say in my life. What about the Pirates of the Caribbean?
The
Yes,
Pirates
they're
of the
allowed to
Caribbean.
They must bring
Okay.
the rum.
So, are we talking? Are we talking the asshole pirates or the organized pirates?
The
Jack
organized
Sparrow.
pirates. And the one
Yeah,
established under the previous pillar of essence.
I am fine.
So, okay. I mean, again, as long as they're not raiding shit from the continent, they're fine.
All right. Cherviat,
The
the
Sylvan-
Island of Dragons.
Don't think
As
I've had
long
many
as they,
children.
again, for most of them, with like 3 exceptions, as long as they're not trying to interfere with the government or causing problems, trade will
Yeah,
remain open. If they become problematic, trade will be cut off.
Okay.
The Sylvan Empire, the problem with them is they like to tamper with a lot of Fey shit, and Druids don't like that
Yeah.
because
Plus,
they,
that
you
land
know,
is
decided
also
to-
stolen from the Feywild. That whole continent.
that whole chunk of the continent needs to be fucking banished.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which-
is Flint still here? I'm sure if we wild magic enough, it might fucking happen.
Just leave him there. Fuck shit up.
Just
Oh,
woke up. Just
that's
keep
another
trying
thing.
shit, you'll be fine.
You guys can chase down the rat boy in the established places, because you guys haven't really established any boats as of yet. So you guys do have time to find him and force feed him a bunch of pork rinds, which still
Before
is the
he
fucking
fucking
funniest
escapes.
fuck to me.
I
Or
mean, he said it.
or you can keep my moons as they are.
Or we can
Look.
kill him.
Nikki, he agreed to fixing it,
I know.
That is true.
I think. Now, the question is the rat going to try and run from what he promised?
Probably. I mean, it's Flint. You'll know what he's like.
Alright. Next up. So, because you want to establish trades with these places, that is good. So you want to establish... Now we're going to have to get into the next part, the time skip.
Oh boy.
Because you guys are going to go through a bit of a time skip, because your nation is going to take about 5 years to 5 years to get into full working order before you guys have other things you guys will be doing, as Solaria has tasks for you guys. If you guys want to continue helping her and her company she works for.
I mean, I don't see why not.
I don't see why.
You guys will not be staying on the Icefields if you do that. You guys will be leaving the Icefields and going and doing some other stuff.
I
Well,
mean,
if that is the
multiple of
case,
us have reasons to leave the continent, so that
I
sounds like it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
with the time that we do spend on the continent, I probably will be spending my time helping train the army, like for archers and whatnot.
Oh yeah, being a military person yourself, yeah, that's perfectly viable.
I did mean to mention.
I'm gonna be chilling with my best
Since
friend
we're deal-
Equinox
if-
the whole time while he trains me.
Since we're dealing with time skip, we do have trade open with the Crystal Empire, and that means by extension the Deep Core. That means we could standardize our army on firearms instead of crossbows.
The Crystal Empire may not reveal that tech to...
The Deep Core. The Deep Core would. They don't care.
I'd probably say.
Remember, Nikki, there's an independent company producing firearms for sale.
Yeah.
I'd probably still say
I'm going to steal their business.
Having archers / crossbow soldiers would still be beneficial as well. So obviously, firearms fire in a straight line. You can arc.
Let me just, before you settle on keeping archers, let me just show you what these firearms are. Ignore the name because that's only for the specific one.
Moon?
Technically, 2 countries produce them.
The little rat boy that we call Flint, who is a wild magic sorcerer. He blew up the moon with wild magic. And it ends once he eats, what was it, 4 pounds? 4 pounds of...
I think it was 4 pounds.
4 pounds of cured leather, aka pork rinds.
Yeah.
So,
Though, it
it
wouldn't fix the moon properly. It would revert some of the damage, but it would not remove the pieces that have already fallen into places.
I understand that.
Anything that has arrived on Narikov or joined the belt will not be returning back to that moon. That moon is fucked up. It's the same.
again,
It's the same establishment of returning the hemispheres back together when it was split. There's a ring around my planet now because of the fucking destruction that caused. It caused debris, and that debris is not gonna just seal itself back into the same hot spots it was at, even with the magic. Yes,
they pissed on the moon.
We didn't blow up the moon. The rat did. It's not our fault.
So
it
the
would be
reason
near
why
the
I
end of the
bring up-
time skip that it would be like, yeah, no, at the moment it is still, I think leaving Flynn alone would be better.
If we could focus, please,
Yeah.
and stop getting distracted. The reason why I bring up standardizing potentially on those specific types of firearms is it would put this continent at a better advantage and have a better chance of remaining independent.
Oh no, I completely understand that. The only thing I would do archery for is more so for hunting, because the munition will be cheaper, and also more so for getting over
Cheaper.
literally
This
archery.
place could easily produce bolter rounds.
Like we have, so establishing trade with the Deep Core would get us the trade of being able to manufacture firearms, which
how-
is
Only 2 types.
fucking
though.
incredible.
How long will it take
still-
us to actually out?
And that means that I can finally have a
gear
pepper
up?
box.
Not really.
How long will it take
Hold.
us to gear up our army? That's what the main thing. So archery.
Because
will
this
have
is
fucking
the
pepper box
metallurgist
forever.
Icefields, and we literally have metal encompassing the entirety of our backyard. Manufacturing these things would not only be cheaper, it would be fast. Because we have we have a overabundance of the resources required to construct, maintain, and create the munitions.
Would
Because
me
it's
being-
any metal.
So this is for Ennaq here. If I was to use either a long bolter or something like that, would I wouldn't be proficient because it's not a bow type
You would
weapon.
have to learn how to use it. You would have to be trained proficiency in the weapon and then train others to be proficient in the weapon, which is part of establishing diplomatic ties with the Deep Core.
I'd probably end up doing that
So-
as well. Then is train to use, and then show.
You know the Icefields has a portal to the Deep Core, right?
Yes, but not the Duragar city.
No, not the Durgan.
Which is why talking to the fucking Crystal Empire.
Do you want to know what's on the other side of your portal?
Probably death or misery, one of the two.
Is it the fairies?
Oh, damn it!
It's
Yeah.
the Northern Fairies.
Goddamn
Okay, so we're destroying that connection, by the way.
Sounds
We're
good.
not having a fucking demon fairy incursion. We've already had cannibals from a continent. We don't need cannibals from space.
But no, then if that's the case, then if it's gonna be a shorter period of time than I would have was expecting for us to have the firearms.
I
I'd
mean,
probably end
you
up
would
going to training.
you would more than. Here's the thing: we have 5 years. In
Yeah,
D&D, the system to learn a new proficiency is over the course of like a couple of months.
Yeah, no, I'd probably end up doing that. Then I'd get proficient in. Would I have to get proficient in both, or just one, and then the other one will come naturally?
It's proficiency in firearms. Both are firearms.
Yeah, I'd probably do that. Then I'd get proficient in them, and then start trying to train our armies best I can. Obviously, not on my own, but to aid in it, if you will.
So, what specific metal or metal-based alloys are we going to standardize our army on? Cat, stop grabbing the fucking screen!
Basically all of the natural metals besides adamanthril. and harmonic metal are available.
So adamanthral is a created alloy. We have both an abundance of adamantine and
It was
mithril.
an alloy created by the Oros dynasty a long time ago. So they know the mixture and stuff to make the alloy perfect, I guess.
Does Erikai and Victor know how to make it?
They, with
They
their
have
minds
samples to work off.
they do have
They have
samples to work
samples
off.
of.
So they could
Are we
perfect
done with our
that. So
session
yeah.
currently?
No.
We're still in the middle of talking on things.
Okay.
Because we could, if we are going for adamanthril, we could ask if they train in the art of making it, so we can make that our designated military equipment, at least armor.
Right. Again, for firearms, I would say just stick to mundane metal. But for like, if we're still keeping the idea of having specific people wielding things like swords, polearms, and so on, and traditional armor, I would say learning adamanthral would be the best course of action.
Agreed.
Because it's lightweight and extremely durable.
No, I agree with that.
Especially if we already have an abundance of the resource. It would be illogical for us to not go with the best option.
This nation is going to be a force to be reckoned with if someone tries fucking with it. Jesus Christ.
What's up, fuckers? We're here to conquer. What the fuck is that? Pulls out a fucking revolver.
Somehow we start making these friggin' Imperial longbows into cannons and just put them on the coastline.
Right now, the only two types of bolters are the rifles and the small arms.
And the pinzel.
The pinzel. It's still a powerful weapon. Okay. Yeah. That's perfectly good.
Fucking, you get fucking slapped.
Shall we do, shall we say, like, commanders and that have the pistols, and then, like, our range units have the long rifles? Just
so, instead of archers, we basically have musketeers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
musketeers, and we'll have the commanders and that with the short, closer.
New secondary thing. What are you guys gonna call this nation? I know you guys had like a few spitballed ideas, but
which is the one we talked about it last week as well. Which one did we say we preferred? Or was that was a village name, weren't it?
Commune of Alloy.
No.
Make it communist.
No.
United Colonies.
The Alloy Collective.
The United Kingdom.
I think that was the one we settled on.
I won't put these through that name.
Britannia.
God, I hate
The Alloy Collective.
I mean, I'm
tea and crack.
It does sound pretty cool.
But what is our fucking flag going to be?
That's such a good
Or I
question
guess
to
our
ask.
country banner.
Ooh.
Well, what is this continent known for? It's known for metal products and it's known for dragons.
So
We could always have it
let's
as
choose
well.
a bird that is unrelated to either of them and make it our flag.
Why don't we have it as it's like Victor riding the metal dragon?
We're really good at these things. Let's make our nation nothing about it.
Yeah, that's the best one.
We'll do it out of fucking ships or some shit. But Norse related.
Gosh. Yeah, we could do that. So, all right. So we could also do the time skip out of sessions because we are getting close to we're getting like way past time here.
I would say let us do our time what we're doing for the time skip next week.
Yeah,
and then
we could do
that
that.
also gives you time to plan for what we're doing.
Oh,
Next.
I have few options for you guys to do next.
Again, let's do our time skip stuff next week.
All right. Alright, I guess we can end it here then. Because we wrapped up everything to do with the Alloyed Collective. Awesome. And I think we're
Sounds a
going
bit
to be
like a
doing
hive mind,
a bit of a name change for the campaign for Season 2 of what's to come. So the curse is done. In technicality, it's no longer cursed.
All of the curses have been dealt.
Ah.
We don't talk about the Demon Spire. Who told you about it? It doesn't exist. Come here.
Fireball.
I have to give you your forget-me juice.
I actually made a never mind. I made a
Amazing.
magic item that's really funny. I'll tell you about it in a moment. Thank you all for
Okay.
joining us for today's session of Curse of the Icefields. I hope to see you all right after in a few hours for Skellig Civil War. As they had destroyed my Dutch in the diplomacy way. I am
Bye-bye.
absolutely amazed. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for the follows, the subscriptions, the resubs, the gifts, all the above. I really do appreciate all of it. I really do. Thank you. And I'll see you all soon or next time. Bye-bye!
Toodaloo.